Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
Some are saying it might actually be dead for real.
No, let's go.
No,
Some people are saying
the Dodgers are breathing life into the baseball world, Jared. They are
both have lost your goddamn minds. Both of them.
Literally resuscitating Major League Baseball. Thank you to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
If this is the level of insanity that we've reached with the both of you after Blake Snell going to the Dodgers, what's going to happen when Roki Sasaki goes there?
Going to get another piece of merch.
Yep. Jay's
going to stack a third piece somewhere.
That's
probably it. Probably a Roki something.
That means it's going to be one of the most elaborate and detailed bobblehead giveaways that we're ever going to see. I mean, how do you fit 15 of your fucking players on one bobblehead? That's what the Dodgers have. Like, you want an MVP section? You want a Cy Young section? What do you want? What do you want? You want an international superstar section of the bobblehead? What do you want?
We have the 2008 MLB redraft happening on today's show. We have the 2015 MVP Hindsight segment on today's show. And we have Family Feud on today's show. But last night, great lineup. Some would say it's like having 3 MVPs at the top of your lineup. And, that's not even considering having multiple Cy Young Award winners or contenders in your rotation as well. But last night, around 11 p.m., we had just finished recording section 10, and I had Instagram up, and the post was up for 26 seconds. And I thought I was seeing things. I mean, I follow a lot of like baseball meme and news accounts. Like, I thought it was just like another fan edit. And then I saw it was from Blake Snell. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. We were rolling. I think we all have like our raw reactions. We weren't recording an episode, but we were recording. And I was just kind of like, this feels weird. Like, no one else had it. It hadn't been tweeted. But here's Blake Snell posting a picture of him in a Dodgers uniform. I was like, does this mean what I think it means? And I was just, I was at a loss for words. I really was.
That's why as soon as it came across, as soon as I saw it, I just thought to myself, like, all right, you're going to say what you feel. And for me, this is exactly how it went down. The Dodgers had just been waiting, and Blake Snell had ultimately just been waiting for something like this to happen. The timing of something like this to happen. Everything fell into the lap of the Los Angeles Dodgers in regards to Blake Snell, his performance leading into or beginning the season with his tenure in San Francisco, how things went. We understand why the hiccups were what they were, the late start. There's so many different reasons you can point to why it was turbulent for Blake Snell in San Francisco, which in my opinion made it abundantly clear. Just get through this and you'll find your destination. You'll find home. And home was the Los Angeles Dodgers, understanding this is an opportunity to get a guy who we know, who we've been on in the building in a timely fashion, pencil him in, and now we have secured depth in our rotation to an extent at a point in the offseason where we really haven't had, per se, without some of the question marks of health surrounding some of the other guys. So you go in and you bolster your rotation, you pinpoint a Cy Young winner, and we'll continue to get into this, but Mark Pryor has been on the record entertaining the 6-man rotation. Dodgers executives have been on the record entertaining a 6-man rotation. For me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And I don't want to get into that right now. Let's just talk about our initial reactions to the Blake Snell signing. And for me, it was, you went out and got your guy early to get rid of any hiccups that might come. You know what you're getting with this dude, and you absolutely are starting to shore up your rotation with depth, and it's not even December yet. So to the point that I made after the last pitch of the World Series was thrown, I said, what's scary is as they're dousing themselves with champagne right now, the Dodgers are getting better, and that hasn't stopped.
Jay, hey, I know you have thoughts.
I saw it at 4 a.m., so I was a little later than you guys on getting to it. initial reaction was Blake Snell redemption. Blake Snell got his money. Second reaction was, damn, people are going to be pissed that the Dodgers are the team that signed him. And my third reaction, once I sat on it for a second, was that sometimes we can get caught up in like what a pitcher or what starting pitchers in general don't or can't do this day and age. And, you know, I'll use the term, I give the Dodgers credit for like recognizing what they can do. And no, these are not pitchers that are likely to give you 175 innings in any given season or ever in their careers. But what we know about Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow, who was acquired last offseason, obviously, is that on a per inning, on a per start basis, they are as nasty as and unhittable as pitchers get in Major League Baseball. And like I looked it up, top 2 in opponent batting average allowed in terms of lowest since the start of the 23 season are those 2 pitchers. And we saw this year that the Dodgers can mix and match and make their way through a regular season, even if not every guy in the rotation is a classic 30 start or expected to make 30 start guy. Every guy who takes the ball when it matters is probably going to be exceptionally nasty on a per inning basis. I mean, obviously I love it and it makes them a lot better.
And listen, this is, I kind of outlined this stuff last night when I was tweeting about it. So when Blake Snell signed with the Dodgers or signed with the Giants late, you understood what was going to come. Tried to get him in there quicker, didn't work out. Injury didn't work out. So he had to take a couple steps back throughout his season. When he finally hit the ground running with what he felt like was a clean bill of health and was finally in shape to do his job, that was at the beginning of July, right? So from July 9th through his last outing, which was September 22nd, Snell sported a 1.23 ERA with a 123 batting average against. At no point in time did he surrender any more than 3 earned runs in any of those 14 starts. So to my point about getting him in the building and allowing him to prepare and get ready for a full season the way he has in the past, that is something that you just cannot ignore. That is something that absolutely matters. But then I also outlined the injury history of this entire rotation. I mean, you've got 6 Tommy Johns, you've got lower back issues, you've got intercostal issues, you've got issues, you've got question marks surrounding their health. And now you're talking about a Yamamoto who, when you look at how he was used, 18 starts, 11 of those were on 5 days rest. 3 of those were on 6 days rest. 1 of those came on 7 days rest, with the other 2 having 86 and 89 days respectively between them. So that's over the course of 18 starts. You've got Ohtani bouncing back from an injury, who has been used to, more times than not, pitching in a 6-man rotation. And with all of the other injury history that I outlined, I think it stands to reason you are in a rare position to have elite stuff, healthy, and enough depth of that elite stuff to figure out how you can safely deploy it, comfortably deploy it over the course of 162. Because there were some folks talking about the usage of the bullpen and the bullpen games. And well, that was born out of necessity. They needed to do that. They needed to identify guys that could carry that weight for them. And they did. And hats off to those dudes, because that's why the Dodgers were the team standing at the very end, is they were able to get that sort of productivity when it mattered most. And now that you have this depth with multiple guys who are used to and are malleable in terms of getting back to a 6-man rotation, it just screams, entertain me. It screams, let's do this. Because with the deferred money and the way that they are behaving, the Dodgers, ultimately they've just decided to do things that other organizations just didn't try to do. And that's what has separated them. They've executed, though. They have hit on those adventures, if you will. As I said, you lock Ohtani up and you secure your own economy there. Now you've turned yourself into the destination. And that's not something that any fan wasn't aware of or didn't know. But if you're a player, you're chasing championships, you're chasing rings. And now you have an opportunity to go play with a laundry list of Cy Young winners and MVP winners. You are going to be more than willing to do whatever you need to do to create financial flexibility for the club, who is giving you the financial security so you can continue to compete. And other teams fans are pissed off about that. And I can respect that. But there's only one group of people that you're really angry at. And that's the ownership of your team for not doing what this team is doing.
The thing about this deal, and there's layers to this, is the deferred money. Again, I think fans see deferred money, and it's the Jesse from Breaking Bad meme. Like, they can't keep getting away with this. But at the end of the day, it's not illegal. And I think when you consider what the Dodgers have done over the last, call it 6 years, I mean, it really started with the Mookie Betts trade. They have assembled a team that is a destination team for superstar players because A, geographically, this is a great place to be. B, it's a big market. I know that I can market myself there. C, there's talent here, a history of winning. And D, I know I'm going to get paid. And I can defer that money. That's fine, but I'm going to make it back with whatever endorsements. Like, it's LA, it's the Dodgers. We're going to win the World Series. I'm going to become a household name. I'm going to build a legacy. I'm going to establish a stronger Hall of Fame case. Like, they just have so much to offer players that are top talent in the free agent market. Guys that get traded there are willing to forego going to free agency to sign extensions there. Mookie was one of them. Glasnow was another one. So I get why fans are mad. It's kind of just like, how do they keep doing this? But you kind of, at the end of the day, reluctantly have to tip your cap and say they've built this. Like, they didn't, they're not cheating to do this. Like, they were smart enough to know what was within the rules. They cared enough to spend the money, and they were, again, smart enough to identify the right players to build this thing. And they're going to be a force for quite some time. But on a separate note,
well, hold on before you move on real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you hit on a key distinction though. And to me, this is, I know fans are going to be mad, and maybe they're too mad to see this distinction, or maybe they disagree, but like, to me, the cheat code, and I've seen a lot of that today, that like they're cheating with the, avoidance with the deferrals and stuff like that. To me, the cheat code, if there is one, isn't that they're willing to defer large sums of money into the future. It's that they've created, as you laid out, they've created an environment where players are willing to do that, to come play there. And yes, some of that is leveraging their location and their market, which yes, you're right. There are X number of teams that it doesn't really matter how successful their organization is. They're not going to be able to do this because stars are not going to want to go play in name your Midwest city.
Cincinnati.
Like, some of my favorite places, but they're not going to go there. And that's true of basically every sport, or at least lots of them are not going to go there. But that they've laid the foundation, like you're talking about, player development wise, actual star player wise, in accompaniment with their location and their market and all of that. That's the cheat code, that they got these players to want to do that, to go play with other great players and win championships and awards and stuff like that. And that's now, to me, I mean, obviously, that is a self-perpetuating cycle. That's a ball rolling downhill now, because
snowball.
Why wouldn't more people want to go sign up? Like, that's what this conversation is. Blake Snell is signing up to be a part of this, to defer something like $60 million of the $180 million in his contract. And why wouldn't there be another piece that's going to sign up for this at some point? Like,
this is what Tom Brady did for the New England Patriots.
No question.
Is it not?
Yes.
Is it not? Hey,
yes.
I'm the greatest guy doing this. I'm the greatest guy who's ever going to be doing this. We know that. I'm making thanks Gillette. I'm making my money away from thanks Louis, thanks whoever, right? So
thanks,
one thing
Giselle.
I do want to say about the whole like star market and blah, blah, blah. I caution people thinking that going to LA is going to put X amount of dollars in their bank account that they wouldn't get elsewhere. I just want to remind folks what Ohtani does and what the second player in terms of off the field revenue does. Those we're not even allowed to have a conversation. Oh, it's not Judge, it's Harper, right?
No, it's Judge.
I thought it was Harper. with his $6 million or whatever in endorsements. Either way, Judge, Harper, it's not even a conversation to be had. Those are two very different worlds. Two very different worlds. So it's just, this is everything, if you're a franchise, that you wanted to do. We will go back to the signing of Shohei Ohtani, and you can mark that down as the transformational decision made by the Los Angeles Dodgers that helped turn them into the behemoth that they are positioned to continue to be for the foreseeable future. Because if Ohtani locks in with any other team and they figure out how to leverage his economic value, then they're in that similar seat. They're in a position of power where they can start playing with money that they're printing in-house. But no other organization will have that. Oh, Juan Soto is not bringing any other team that. So just caution yourself thinking that Juan Soto is going to fall in or create the same kind of wave economically that Ohtani does. No. Those are not even close.
I know it seems like a fait accompli that the Dodgers were always going to be what they are now. And, this piece, the Betts and Freeman and then Ohtani falls in place. And it's like, LA, of course, but we're all old enough to remember when the Dodgers situation was as fucked up as any situation in baseball. They were still in LA and they still were the Dodgers.
Divorce and
the Frank McCourt era. That's that is less than 15 years in the rearview mirror. That's not that long in baseball time. And yes, they are going to be a juggernaut for a long time. But I don't know. It just strikes me that it wasn't that long ago that this team literally couldn't get out of its own way, roster-wise, ownership-wise, basically in every way you could. And now they're arguably the best set up and best run organization
in professional sports.
In major professional sports. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
my separate thought on the Dodgers situation now, and I don't know that it's this is a much larger scale, I think, but I think eventually if this continues, say Sasaki goes there or say Juan Soto goes there, eventually the tide has to turn and there will be players that are actually, fuck them. I want to beat them.
Those players, that's, you're right. You're right, Jared. I just had this conversation with guys who were like, look, I can either be a part of something great or I can battle something great.
Yeah.
And
that's what happened with Kurt Schilling when he was with Arizona and he was being courted and the Yankees wanted him. And he was like, I could go there, win another ring. I already have rings myself. They already have rings. I could do that. Or I could go to Boston and be a part of the team that beats the Yankees and wins a World Series for the first time in 86 years. And that's ultimately what he chose. So I think, obviously, it's not happening right now. I still think everyone is kind of, I don't know. Did you guys see the Mookie Betts quote at whatever, it was some fucking player awards thing that I never even heard of, but he got up in front of the crowd and he basically talks shit to every player, being like, you guys don't have a chance at winning the World Series for the next 7 years. Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I think it was the all MLB, the first team, the MLB awards banquet.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find that quote, because that alone,
I think he said it with shades indoors too.
Oh, no way. He never wears sunglasses inside.
Well, I'm not making a commentary on it. I just thought you'd enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Is this it right here? Yeah. Okay. This is it right here. Listen to this shit.
Look at all these guys out here, Mook. All the current players. Contreras, maybe, nobody else. One World Series championship amongst all these guys, Mook. They trying to get where you are right now. They want to be you. So I want to see if you can give them some kind of motivational speech, any kind of advice you can give all these guys trying to get to where you are.
I would say y'all just got to wait the next 7 years. And then after that, then y'all can win. But right now, no, you just got to wait.
I don't Come on, man. You can't. He was asked the
I didn't
question.
say anything. I didn't say anything.
That's exactly how I'd want my player to respond if I was on his team. No
I
question.
guess, but it's like when you just sign and trade for every superstar player, then it's like, are you really?
See,
but why should that bother him? Why should that bother him?
I'm not saying it bothers him.
Anybody?
I'm just saying it's a little.
Why?
It's a little crazy to be that cocky when it's like,
what?
It's not you. Like it's
when
not.
You got 10 fucking future Hall of Famers on your team. It feels like it's cocky.
It's a little cocky to not be the guy. Like he's not the guy.
You can say it's not him.
It's not.
He was kind of first in the door, though.
He was first in the door,
people who
but
matter
like,
now.
Of the 3 rings that he has he been the guy for any of them? No.
Well, now we're ranking where you were at in the pantheon of winning your rings. Stop it. Stop it. You're gonna embarrass yourself.
Jeter
don't do that.
Was Mr. November. Like
he was not. He was not the best player in the postseason for every one of probably even 50% of those rings.
But he was for some of them. Has Mookie?
I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head what he was. No. I mean, I know it wasn't great in 2020.
Wasn't great in 18 either. He was good
crazy
this
how
year.
It's crazy how he ends up on all of the winning follows him though, right?
Yeah.
That's fine.
And it kind of left. It kind of went out the door when he left too, didn't it?
Don't say that, Jay Hay. He's not that good of a player, is he? Where he left and won championships and the team that he left didn't win. He's not that good.
Yeah, but he's never been the guy. He was not the guy in 18. He won an MVP in 18. He was probably like the 7th best player on the team.
Mookie Betts is probably going to go down as like one of the 10 best players of the last half century.
Yeah, no doubt. Regular season. Same as Judge. You got any thoughts on his postseason performance or no?
It was not the best this season.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm not taking anything away from Mookie. He was good in the postseason this year. He just wasn't the guy. ALCS MVP? Nope. World Series MVP? Nope. He was good. Was he the guy? No, he wasn't.
You think Mookie can't look at his rings or the trophy because he didn't win MVP in any of those seasons? You think that's tough for him?
No.
You think he's okay with it?
Well, no, delusional people are okay with a lot of things.
Do you think Jason Tatum looks at his NBA championship differently because Jaylen Brown was the Finals MVP?
No, I don't think he cares.
Is that just because he plays for a team located in the city of Boston?
I don't care about basketball.
I thought you had a special place for Tatum, though.
Yeah, Tatum's so cool. Like he's just a very cool. Like when I think of cool, I think of Jason Tatum.
No, that is good that he's not letting it impact his perception of his own legacy because I wouldn't want him or Mookie to feel that way.
Yeah, no. I mean, Mookie's a good player. It was just, if I were in the audience, I would have been like, bitch, it wasn't because of you.
I'm sure Jason Tatum heard some of that. I mean, Mookie Betts heard some of that.
Sure. And he deserves it. Like if Freddie Freeman was up there being like, what are you going to say now? Like I lead Major League Baseball in every offensive category over the last 6 years, and I just won World Series MVP and hit a walk-off grand slam against the Yankees in Dodger Stadium. It's like you earned every bit of shit talk coming our way. Like you're the fucking man, Freddie.
So here's an interesting question now that we've just kind of wandered down some random tangent. Would you rather have Freddie Freeman's situation, which is 2 rings, obviously one with 2 different teams, and a World Series MVP, like literally legendary performance in one of those World Series, or would you rather have 3 World Series rings that you were a meaningful part of, but were not the best player on any of those teams?
I don't know that he was a meaningful part.
I'm not interested in debating my word choice. What do you think about the question? What do you think about the question?
Like, who would I rather be?
Whose situation would you rather have? Would you rather have the other World Series? Would you rather be a 3-ring guy
to this answer,
or a 2-ring guy with a World Series MVP?
Yeah, Freddie has a league MVP. He's got the World Series MVP.
Well, Mookie's got a league MVP too. So
that's what I'm saying. So, like, what does Mookie have that Freddie doesn't have? Like an extra ring,
a 3rd ring, 3 rings versus 2 rings and a World Series MVP.
Yeah, I would rather have 2 rings where I was the fucking man in that World Series than have the extra third ring where everyone's like, you didn't do dick in that World Series.
Was Freddie the man in 21
Yeah. And he hit a home
in the
run.
World Series?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't remember. So now I'm going to.
I do, because I remember his home run streak dated back to that World Series.
Anyway, that's hating on Mookie Betts.
I'm not hating. I don't like who he's become. The cockiness, I
don't understand how you want him to have a different response.
I mean, do you think, what would Jeter say? Would Jeter say that?
Jeter would say something that would be so boring my eyes would bleed.
That's why he's the captain.
You never wanted people
That's
to
why he
imitate
was
Derek Jeter when he was Derek
99%.
Jetering.
That's why he was 99% Hall of Fame. All class.
That's why
Mookie,
that
no
show
class.
is exclusively what goofy thing is Big Papi going to do today, because A-Rod is impossible to listen to and Derek Jeter is still boring as shit.
It's called class.
That's
Should try
one way.
it sometime.
Okay, he can be classy off the screen.
Either way, I digress.
Dude, I got plenty of class. I was just defending Mookie Betts' honor from the
Wrongfully
the
so.
arrows.
Bad hill to
Yeah.
die on.
Anyway, it's the greatest time of the year again. It continues to be. Football is back and it's here to stay until February. Went up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite players' stats like touchdowns, passing yards, and more. Dallas, we usually use this segment to give you a hard time, this underdog read here, to give you a hard time about the Cowboys. I figured it's only fair to give you a few seconds here to gloat after your huge divisional win this past weekend. Go.
Special teams, folks. Special teams. You got to pay attention to the details. The devil's in the details. And the devil was wearing a star on his helmet on Sunday. That's right. Tip of the cap to the special teams unit for the Dallas Cowboys, trouncing the Commanders. Get the right out of here. We, them boys, coming off the rare, unseen 3 bye weeks in a row. The Cowboys, led by Mike McCarthy, were able to scratch out a W.
Enough of all that.
Yes.
Congratulations on your win. Hopefully you took the higher on all things Cowboys related. If you're feeling saucy again, Giants Cowboys is, as everybody knows, on Thanksgiving, 4:30 Eastern. It's that middle meaty game. Dallas, any feelings heading into this one real fast?
Oh, yeah. Everybody, make sure you go to bed hungry because the Cowboys are going to be serving up an ass whooping.
That's awesome. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just sort of like the Cowboys schedule these days. Just head over to Underdog's simple to use mobile app or underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code, you already know, Jared, Jared, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jared, to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer.
So just to put a bow on all this.
Yeah.
Jay Hay is now a Dodger fan and Dallas is rooting for the league to collapse. Yes.
I'm really just rooting for the commissioner's office to continue to kill it.
Speak your mind, Dallas. What do you think should happen here? Do you think rules need to be amended?
No, I mean, that's a conversation that I don't know has an end to it, but I think ultimately what fans are upset about, and this is just how it will always boil down, is if your team, if your ownership group is the one writing checks, you're probably not the one who's bitter because you're either winning or you're in a position to win. The effort is being made to win. So you can be happy with the effort to an extent. I think if you're a fan of teams outside of teams that look like the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, maybe the Red Sox and their rumblings of turning the corner, then you're probably going, this sucks. Why can't my team just perform that way? And it's like saying, this sucks. Why am I not a part of the royal family? Well, because you weren't born into the royal family. It's that simple. And
I have a question for you guys.
You just got to wear it.
Question for you guys. This didn't happen to me until the Blake Snell signing. And I don't know what the right wording is, because it's not like a lose respect for thing, but I, from this point forward, will view players differently if they willingly go to the Dodgers. Like, if you choose to go to a team that can directly compete with them, like, that will make me like you more. It's not like a Dodgers jealousy thing. It's like, I just want, it's how I view your compete level. Like, if you're signing up to be the number 4 starter when you're talented enough to be an ace somewhere, I just kind of view you differently. Like, it's not like a shot at Blake Snell. Like, he's great and I like the guy, but there's just something to the act of saying, like, fuck those guys, I want to take them down, versus like, I'm going there to just cakewalk to a World Series because who's going to stop us? Like, I'm the number 4 starter on this team.
Who would you go ahead, Jay?
I think that would be true. I think I would feel similarly in a way if we were seeing guys take like 1 year, like $30 million contracts, or like well below market value to go there and be part of that, and like costing themselves, costing the union, whatever, but like signing up to do that as kind of title chasers. Like, as far as I'm concerned, there's no reporting that suggests that Blake Snell's $182 million was not the best offer on the table. And that's a lot of money to just be like, well, the Dodgers are already really good and they won last year.
It's also November.
That's like, dude, look at what happened to him last year.
I know. It's a different set of circumstances where I'm sure he's like,
probably not feeling totally confident that it's a different set of circumstances. He's like, I shoved last year too. Like,
no, I'm saying it's a different set of circumstances for him this winter compared to last, viewing your free agency, where you're like, I'm not going through that shit again if I get a deal. I mean, no one is talking about the fact, in the Dodgers' defense, like, yes, there's deferred money here, but he's still getting what, like $36.5 million as the AAV without the deferrals.
He's getting a $50 million signing bonus. Let's remember that. That's what allows the flexibility to become what it is.
He's not taking a haircut to go there. Like, all the projected like contracts that he was looking at getting, like, this is over that.
Just ask this. You can ask this question 15 different ways to apply it to any sort of real life scenario. If you were in line to go to work for a company that does the best in their field, and it's not that you were looking to get hired by this company sought out your services. And because of how good they are, you are not only more than willing to listen to their offer, but if it sounds fruitful, you're now more than willing to give back in terms of flexibility, because you're saying, they want me to be a part of this. I would like to be a part of that. They'd like for me to be a part of this for an extended period of time. I would also like that. And if I'm actually someone who's in a position to provide them with more flexibility, so that, let's say, my 5-year window might have 2 championship runs in it. Well, what if I'm a little flexible? Do I create a 3rd window? And so I would love to do that. What you're asking is for people who have created the best earning potential for themselves to deny going to the place that can make them the best as a player and offer them the one thing they're after outside of the dollar compensation, which is a championship. In no world that any one of you that I'm staring at right now would you live in and go, nah, nope.
I don't know that that's true.
No, it is true. It is true.
I don't know that that's true. I know
it's true.
I don't know that that's true. I'm just, again, I'm going to go back to the arms race of the early 2000s between the Red Sox and the Yankees. Like, players made decisions to say, fuck them. Like, they're always 100 million more than the second best, like, payroll, and they win all the goddamn time. And I'm sick and tired of seeing it. Like, I want to be a part of something special, like taking down that team like that.
So-
I don't
so
think we're
somebody
there
would-
yet, but we're getting close to that.
So Juan Soto,
somebody
Juan
will do
Soto
that.
would be a guy. Juan Soto
Yeah.
would be the dude who's going to say, nope, don't want it. But then you're going to have a really tough time, Jared. You're going to have a really tough time giving Juan Soto that badge to wear when he takes the best deal given to him.
I don't think he's that guy that, yeah, exactly. Like, he's not the guy that's going to defer payments to take down the Dodgers or become a part of the Dodgers. He's going where the most money is. Like, that's just what we've always known about him.
I'm glad you brought up the Yankees Red Sox thing of that era, because one of the other things that I looked at really quickly or really early this morning after the news broke, or I saw the news, was like, I know the deferrals are part of the angst and the anger from other fan bases, but like the overall spending and their willingness to issue large contracts, that complaining totally falls on deaf ears with me in terms of like it's going to ruin the game or whatever. Like we lived through the Yankees doing what Jared just talked about, having payrolls that were $100 million higher than most other postseason teams. Like I went and looked and I said, okay, so the Dodgers payroll is going to be X. The next highest payroll this season is likely going to be this. What does that look like compared to the payrolls that the Yankees used to run back in the day? And what I found is that the Yankees payroll in that 2005 to 2009 era, so basically after, I mean, it was always high.
After getting
high,
embarrassed until they got their championship to wash it away.
Okay. So from that period, they ran payrolls that were anywhere from 50% to 69% higher than the number 2 highest payroll. Okay. So if the Dodgers, putting the deferrals aside for a second, if the Dodgers were going to run a payroll, let's say the number 2 payroll this season comes in at $275 million. Okay. If the Dodgers were going to run a payroll that was equivalent to the gap that the Yankees used to run, their payroll would be over $450 million. It's not going to be that, right? It's at like 305 right now.
But what does it look like without the deferrals? Because it's not like, as a competitor going against the Dodgers, I don't care what's hitting your bank account. I care about the talent and what that equals out to in dollars. So like without the deferrals, what type of payroll would it look like?
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but they're not the first team to utilize. They're not the first team to utilize deferrals.
No, but listen to what I'm saying. Like, yes. I get that their payroll is X, but it's because of all the deferrals. Without all the deferrals, like those players are still, like Blake Snell he's getting $36.5 million a year on an average annual value without the deferrals. Shohei Ohtani, $70 million a year. It's like, that's what those players are worth. That's what they'll ultimately be getting paid when the contract is all said and done. So that's the number that I want to see. So what does their payroll look like without the deferrals? Because that is how we amass the collection of talent that they have.
So if we know right now, which we do, that their current projected tax payroll is something like just over $300 million. It's like $304, $305 million. We know that. So let's just in our head mentally add some of these things that you're talking about. If we want to add $125 million in present day salary that's being deferred, I don't even know if that's a number, but that seems high enough to account for what we're talking about. They're still not running the gap that the Yankees used to run. And so the larger point is that I'm just not convinced that this is a death knell for the sport. This makes things, and furthermore, the other things that's changed that people like, I know the Dodgers won the World Series this season. We are one season removed from the World Series being the Diamondbacks and the Rangers. And I just refuse to believe that this is now better. Some sort of, no, not only that it's better, people can take it or leave it. I don't care at this point, but like the idea that the Dodgers are guaranteed a World Series appearance, victory, anything like that flies in the face of basically everything that we know about postseason baseball and the way that they've structured it. Are they better positioned to win? Will they go in with the highest odds to start the season? Yes, undoubtedly. Are they heavy favorites to win the division now and into the future? Absolutely. And that's a pathway to get to the World Series, but it doesn't guarantee them anything. And like to Jared's point that he's made a couple of times, in terms of whether it's good or bad for baseball, viewership, interest, there's very few things that would interest me more as a national neutral fan than a team going up against the Dodgers as constituted right now and trying to slay them in true underdog fashion. Like, that would be awesome. Whether that's represented by Juan Soto, the single man going up against the great beast, or whether that's a team like, that we're not even thinking of or whatever in the AL, coming out of the AL Central or something, and be like, that is compelling to me. And like Goliaths, I just don't think Goliaths are bad for sports in general.
No,
I don't think.
and how about a team?
For the record, I am not one of these people that are the Dodgers.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean
baseball.
to lump you in with that.
Yeah, I am not a Dodger crybaby. The Dodgers are ruining baseball fan. I'm not saying that it's ruining the sport. I'm not one of those guys. I am, however, looking at it and saying, the fact that Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow are technically the highest paid players on the Dodgers is a little crazy. But like, Dodger fans are going to turn around and say, well, it's not like the Dodgers are the only team that can do deferred money.
So here's the thing. You've got Roki Sasaki getting ready to emerge. You've got Juan Soto getting ready to emerge. Is there not another team? What's preventing Steve Cohen from saying, all right, fair play, Dodgers. Guess what? These two guys are mine. These two guys are mine. What is preventing that from happening?
Well, I think it's a more layered answer with Sasaki because we're talking
let's
organizational.
Let's just
like he can't buy Sasaki. That's the difference. He can buy Soto.
No, he can absolutely. So this is the thing, is he just hasn't created an environment where Sasaki is willing to say, I will take what you're offering, even though it's less than what's being offered here, because I want to go and build this here. That's what opportunity that you guys are talking about. That's what opportunity lays right in front of 29 other owners right now, with stars like Soto and Sasaki on the verge.
But there's
you
a
can
difference
make a
between
decision.
selling Sasaki on the organization and selling Sasaki on here's what my checkbook says. Like, I think
that's what the Dodgers had to do. They had to sell their players or their incumbent, their free agent pursuits. They had to sell them on their ability to develop them into the players that they saw, that they see. All right, here's who you are, but here's who we see.
But how do the Mets do that?
And that's my point. That is my entire point, is what the Dodgers have done is position themselves in every facet to be the destination. That's why I said, you want to get better, you go here. You want to get paid, go here. You want to win, go here. There's nothing preventing any other franchise from starting to set that up, for starting to create that. It takes investments in other places outside of just your roster is the point. And the Dodgers, in a timely fashion, have done that. They've raised every single tide in every single thing that you can get better at, they have done. And there's nothing.
We need to find the answer, because this came up before about the team that Sasaki selects and he ends up pitching for. Mm-hmm. When can that team, like, it can't be that they can't sign him to an extension. Like, how much time or service time has to pass before that team can offer him an extension? Like, is it just that you sign a player through international free agency and they're just guaranteed to go to free agency? They can't ever accept an extension?
No, I'm not. I can't speak on that because I'm not sure about the ins and outs there. Yeah. No, I would have to believe that that's all part of the process. Is if you're in a position to sign this guy based on the resources you have in the international signing pool, fantastic. If he accepts, if you have $7 million to offer him and I have $5 million to offer him, but I'm the Dodgers, he can select my offer. And then from there, I can give him whatever I need to give him to keep him a Dodger for the next 10 years. I would think that that's how that would work. But again, I do not know. I can't speak to that directly.
I'm asking.
Yeah, I just think that with the ability for any team, that's why, like the deferred money, what is preventing any other team? Look, straight up, the Oakland A's offered Marcus Semien a deferred money deal. The numbers, probably not too attractive, but it's just about teams trying to do something like this and being able to hit on it, having the player accept it. It's got to start somewhere. For the Dodgers, it started with the best player in the game, with the most money in the game, and everybody else is looking at it going,
So what's stopping a player
nothing.
or a team? What's stopping a team from
Nothing.
being like, hey, if you choose us, we will give you a 16-year extension for $400 million.
Which is why they were talking about, and when I brought it up. So for all of the kids in Latin America who have these handshake deals in place with organizations for $150K, $2 million, $1.5 million, whatever, all of those deals, see ya, because that money is going to this dude now.
If the rule, like, so basically what's being said here is there's no rule saying that the Dodgers couldn't be like, if you pick us, we'll give you 15 years, $375 million. Like, we'll rip up the whole fucking, league minimum deal. Like, we'll give you this deal up front. But the league office is like, we don't love that. There's not a rule saying you can't do that, but we don't love that.
So,
they do have the authority to
they already stepped
bypass that and say,
hold on.
They already stepped in and prevented the
I'm-
Dodgers from pursuing conversations like this for this exact reason. They instituted a rule in the Nippon League. You can't have these conversations. This is tampering. This is bullshit. So you got to stop it. You can't reach out to these players. You got to stop it. They instituted that.
This may be a distinction without a difference in terms of underhanded whatever. But I'm actually gonna. I think there's a distinction between what you're saying. If Roki Sasaki picks a team and 6 months from now they offer him a $300 million contract, there is nothing specifically on the books that outlaws that.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, I believe there is something on the books that says that if you come to an ahead of time agreement that says, if you pick us, we will do this in 6 months, that is absolutely illegal and would be treated as such, and probably that executive would be banned. That I'm pretty sure. Those are two different things. Maybe they're not really, but I think they are if there was proof that that was part of the inducement to get that person to sign.
And that right there is the biggest burden. It's the burden of proof. Prove to me that this deal was in place. Prove to me. Show me the text messages. Show me the recordings of the conversations that I've had with this guy. Because until you can do that, I'm going to need you to piss off, because that's how business works. Is I'm going to secure any deals I need to behind however many doors I need to secure them behind. And when we get to the forward-facing part of this, you'll say what you need to say. I'll say what we need to say, and we'll see you in 6 months. Sound good? Sounds great. Everybody okay? Let's move along. That's business, folks, and that's how that's going to go. That's why the league stepped in and said, guys, it's pretty obvious who gets the jump start on this stuff. It's the folks who are willing to pay. We're going to have to come in and at least prevent you from having those early conversations. So when you finally do start to have them, whatever backdoor deal you're going to work, do your thing. But damn it, we got to do something, which is at least prevent you from talking to these people before everybody else gets to.
You best hope that there isn't any proof then, because when the Braves executive had those illegal agreements with the international amateurs, obviously those were not Japanese players, but that guy is banned, I believe, still banned for life. So you get caught. I mean, you're saying what you're saying will happen or could happen, but I think you're playing a very dangerous game to get him to pick you if you're doing that.
Yeah.
I just said,
or maybe we're at the point now where it is so unspoken and just understood that if you're Sasaki, you're like, if I pick the Dodgers, I mean, they're going to want to fucking keep me. Like, he's that good.
Brother, we've been there. We've been here. We have been here. We've been here. We're just having a more and more every year opportunities, especially from Japan, to see this stuff kind of shake out, to see how it plays out. But this is not new. This is not foreign. This isn't anything that baseball is just now starting to experience.
It is foreign. It's from Japan. Well, That was talking Dodgers. I mean, we might as well just rename the show to Talking Dodgers.
It's not bad. It's a big market from what I gather.
That's catchy.
Shit. Yeah, I think we should do that. Just we know where our bread gets buttered around here, as the kids say.
Los Doyers.
Well, if we all are becoming Dodgers fans, might be a good opportunity to
Get some tickets.
check out some Dodgers tickets on the Game Time app.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been to Dodger Stadium, right?
Yeah,
Everybody,
I remember.
Jake?
I have twice.
Hell yeah. What a vista.
Humble.
Standing there up on the concourse behind home plate, looking out over that scene. What a beaut. I'd love to go back out there, maybe see some Blake Snell, maybe see some Shohei, maybe see some Roki Sasaki. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets easy for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Let's see. Do we have Dodgers spring training tickets on the Game Time app coming up? That would be a good one to do. I'm down. Or should we go to a Celtics game? Jared, when's the last time you went to a Celtics game?
It's probably been a few years at this point. I don't know that I've seen Tatum play basketball live.
I'm seeing some really good deals here all across the arena, but specifically maybe some nosebleed sections would be fun. Just kind of take it in with the people. There, I haven't been to a Celtics game in probably about 10 years. About time to get back.
Let's go.
Yep. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. It's got all in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Seat views, you get a panoramic view of the seat, so there's no surprises when you get to your seat at the arena, the stadium, the concert venue, whatever it might be. You can see it before you buy. It's the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. That's the amount of grit that Jared wants somebody to show to sign up and go against the Dodgers, to be the David to the Dodgers Goliath. Show 110% every time. Game Time ticket coverage has your your purchase covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BID for 20% off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with the code BID. That's spelled BID for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
It's fucking game time. Yep. John Heyman, 10 minutes ago. Red Sox are a threat to favored Yankees and Mets in Soto Derby and are busy making their case.
Wow. How does that make you feel? Tell me your reaction right now.
It makes me feel used because it's John Heyman. He's a Scott Boras puppet. It makes me feel like it's a leverage play. It makes me feel like Juan Soto wants the Mets or the Yankees, and that Heyman is being used as an instrument of leverage for the Scott Boras camp, which has been a thing for many, many years.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. You know what? I'm not going to say that.
Okay. Look, is all this run and hullabaloo surrounding the Red Sox and Soto, is that really just a play so that when that inevitably doesn't happen and you sign the second tier, third tier guys, you're able to look at the fans and say, hey, we tried, we were interested.
I don't think Max Fried's not second tier to me. He's in that first tier of starting pitchers. I think like if you go back to September, I think Red Sox fans would have told you, we don't even expect to be in the conversation for Soto. And then we get linked to them, and now we're hearing like, oh, they're actually legit and they're willing to pony up and go the distance, you still need to be picked by the player. So I think Red Sox fans, for the most part, have a realistic outlook at the Juan Soto sweepstakes that, like, yeah, like it's confusing and exciting at the same time to be involved. But at the onset of the offseason, we didn't expect to be here with Soto. We did expect to be in on starters. So if Soto says I'm going to the Mets or I'm staying with the Yankees, I don't think I'm sure there will be overreactions, but me personally, I'm not gonna make the offseason's ruined. We didn't get our guy. Like, he was never really supposed to be our guy. Like, this was kind of just an added bonus where we're like, oh fuck, like we're here. Like, we might as well win the whole fucking thing, you know? Like, that's how I'm looking at it. I think the only way the offseason is a disappointment is if they don't end up with a frontline starter.
I think that's the safest way to guard your emotion.
But Jake, how do you feel about it? Because like going back to September, like we were having conversations on Section 10 about like we're not even going to be mentioned with Juan Soto. Like, that's so depressing. So I don't think that if the Red Sox don't sign him, then like, yeah, it's like disappointing, but like it shouldn't be. Like, we weren't supposed to be here.
Yeah, if you asked me 2 months ago, I would have said no chance and I wouldn't be worried about it. If you ask me today, now I'm going to be devastated if we don't sign him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be devastated. I'll be disappointed and let down, but I'm not going to be like, fuck. Like, there goes
so you
the
can
whole
go
winner.
from being on the complete outside looking in to then having it narrowed down to like 3 to 4 teams, and you're one of them, and you're still like, oh, you know, no big deal. Because ultimately,
it's not a big deal. Like,
well,
it would
Jake's
be
devastated, and you're like, didn't, whatever.
kind of like I'm not saying I wouldn't be disappointed. I would definitely be disappointed.
So one of 4 teams in sweepstakes for the best available free agent.
It's
not
found money.
Doesn't land you.
It's not like, oh, I found $20. It's I found a sack of hundos. It's like, it's found money. But yeah, like I'm not like, the only way I'll be devastated is if they come up short on like Max Fried, Garrett Crochet, Corbin Burns, something like that. Like, they need a big frontline starter. That's what they need.
Like, Garrett Crochet seems like the perfect fit for any team who is hesitant to make a big splash and commit real dollars to a free agent without any sort of escalators involved. Garrett Crochet seems like an ideal candidate because you want to get extended, and we'd like some guys that we can pencil in for the future. We're also going to need you to perform. Sounds like you want to perform. Well, let's put our money where your mouth is, Mr. Crochet. And if you feel that you can hit these marks, we are in a position to pay you for doing so. So let's make that happen. Let's do that. So I can understand the pursuit of a guy like Max Fried, but it feels like with the tentativeness that the Red Sox have surrounding their involvement with Juan Soto, like, I don't know, are they okay with missing out on him? And if so, if that's the pivot, why wait for the pivot to happen? Why not identify the players that you're probably in position for and make a run for them? All of the Dodgers and Blake Snell. Go get your guy. Why wait for the guy to tell you that you're not his place? Go find your guys.
I was going to play this clip, but I think it's just them talking about it. I was actually supposed to be on this show this morning, but I was like, you know what? I can't do it today, fellas, because we've got Dontrell Willis on the podcast today. And he had to reschedule, unfortunately. So I will be invoicing him for the paycheck that I missed out on today. But MLB Network, I thought Heyman was on, but they're just talking about the report. The Boston Red Sox are, quote, increasingly seen as a legitimate contender to sign Juan Soto, per John Heyman. Again, like, I'm just not falling for the John Heyman stuff. I'm just not doing it unless it's Passan, Rosenthal. That's probably about it. Or Pujols, if it's like a
Robert Murray,
if it's a Latin reporter that's been known to break news, then I think I would get a little more excited. But anything from John Heyman about a Scott Boras client, and I'm like, I'm not playing your game, buddy. Not doing it. I refuse. But because I mean, like John Heyman was also the dude that was like, man, the Red Sox and Xander Bogaerts, these talks are heating up. You wouldn't believe how how much progress they've made. Yeah. It is what it is.
That's where he's
brother.
at. That's where he's at. Every time he tweets about a free agent, nobody takes it seriously. They just understand it really what it is it's the thermometer that pops up and lets you know where a player's at in negotiations. All right. Things have probably hit a little bit of a stall. We need to insert a mystery team here to get things going again.
Yep.
John,
Yeah.
you know what to do.
Man, I have some takes on Heyman that I just one of these days I'm
Let
gonna
him
get
fire.
really pissed.
Let
Nah,
him
not
fly.
yet.
Let him fly. Why not?
Not
It's
yet.
a safe spot.
Not yet. But I mean, if he really tugs at the heartstrings with the Soto stuff and then it doesn't happen, man.
Well, come on, you're not going to be disappointed. There's nothing to be disappointed about. What would you?
I did say I'll be disappointed. I said I wouldn't be devastated.
So leave John out of it.
I'm leaving John out of it. I just, don't use us. Don't use us as leverage. Don't use us. Don't use our feelings to get one more money from Steve Cohen.
That's exactly what's happening. That's
I know.
exactly what's happening right now.
I know.
Precisely. He's like, look, dude, Uncle Stevie said he's got 50 on top of whatever we get.
That's what John Heyman's doing. But that's not to say that Juan Soto isn't seriously considering the Red Sox. I don't think
Not
that's a
at all.
0% chance. Yeah.
Not at all. The one thing I would want, like, Juan Soto knows that Poppy's not going to be his teammate there, right?
I mean, Poppy will probably get season tickets behind home plate if Juan Soto signs with the Red Sox.
That's fine. He'll see him behind home plate, not allowed in the clubhouse.
Yeah. No, he is allowed. He just doesn't want to go in there.
Well, they don't want him in there.
I know. It's sad.
Fucking crazy.
We'll get those slapdicks out of there and replace them with good big league ball players that want to learn and win. You guys want to do the redraft right now, 2008?
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
My big board is so hot.
Oh. How many players did you write down, Jay?
I mean, not many more than 16, just because I knew how many we were doing. But I mean, I'm prepared. I have a list that's long enough to get me through the draft.
Yeah, I will be picking 4 of these 16 for sure.
If of the first ever Baseball is Dead redraft featuring
I'm
the
pumped.
2008 Major League Baseball draft.
I've been thinking about it a lot.
As you should. As you should. The draft order. Oh yeah, fucking Joe is part of the draft.
Oh, fuck.
I'm gonna call him.
Yeah, is he
See what
prepared?
his status is.
Yeah, what if he doesn't answer?
Well, hold on. Should
What?
we be prepared? Just
Jake
tell him he's
takes
on the
his
clock.
spot.
Just tell him
Yeah.
you're on the clock. Just fuck with him. All right, Joe, you're on the clock.
30 seconds.
Buster Posey.
Joe, he hung up.
Wow.
Who has the
All
first
over it.
pick?
He does.
Young
He does?
Joseph.
He just
Yeah.
took
okay,
Buster
all right.
Posey.
Yeah, he just took
The
fucking
first
Buster.
pick. The first pick in the draft by Joseph is Buster Posey. The draft order is what? Joe, Jay, Hay, me, Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay, Hay, second pick in the draft.
I mean, worth noting that Posey actually went 5th in the real draft. I mean, to me, it was a clear case of 2 elite guys at the top. I was curious to see which direction he's going to go. So this makes it very easy for me. I'm going to go ahead and take an ace atop my staff and take Garrett Cole,
Wow, Garrett Cole goes
Who
second.
who obviously did not sign in this draft.
No, he did not. He did not. Man,
You have an interesting decision here.
I do, and I think I think my decision is going to be criticized, which I already don't appreciate. But I think. Ooh. I'm deciding between former teammates. But I think ultimately,
interesting.
yeah. Yeah. I think ultimately I'm going to have to select with the number 3 overall pick, Craig Kimbrell.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That
Are you okay?
number 5 on my board, if I'm going to be honest.
That's
Number
fine.
5 on my board.
Mhm.
He was selected in the 3rd round and the 96th overall pick in the actual 2008 draft by the Braves.
Mhm.
And this is where my conversation around value comes into play, because with the 4th overall pick, I'm taking a guy who was selected in the 34th round.
Wow.
His name is Marcus Semien.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Damn, boy.
Pick number 1020 in the in the MLB draft that year. These
Yeah.
are
And
good.
as of
Go ahead,
right
sorry.
now, I believe he's got the most WAR accumulated.
Mm.
Anyways, Marcus Semien. That was like, as soon as we started talking about the draft, my brain went right there. And I was like, yes, value. Give me all of that.
Yeah.
All right. So now
Yeah, I
it's
mean, it's
back
a
to
great-
young Joseph.
It's a great pick. Oh, we're not going snake?
Oh, I didn't know. If we're going snake,
I guess we didn't outline that.
We didn't
we
outline
did
that.
not outline that. So if we're going snake, I would
Well,
love.
I would
love-
The real,
yeah.
the real
Well,
MLB
well.
draft is not snake,
No,
unfortunately.
well, I thought it
it's
was
not,
snake.
yeah.
So I should
Yeah,
be.
it's
So I
not,
should
so.
go.
No,
Perfect. I'll go here.
Nope.
I will take.
No.
He's gonna have to hang on longer this time.
Second round.
Okay, just give me 1 second.
Tell him who's off the board.
Kimbrell.
Garrett Cole,
He's already off the board.
Marcus Semien,
Off the board.
Brandon Crawford.
Brandon
Okay.
Crawford. Second round
There
pick
you go,
for young
Joe.
Joseph.
Atta
Thank
baby.
you, Joe.
Is
Hi.
that a good pick?
Yeah, that's a good pick.
It's a great.
It's not
pick.
bad. It's not bad.
It's a good pick. All right. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Call you back for the third round.
Gonna be honest. Interesting pick. I'm not gonna say it's a reach.
Yeah.
The 117th pick overall in that draft, 4th round by the Giants out of UCLA. So I had a tough little decision here. At least I thought I did. 2 players that I did not think would be available are still available.
Mhm.
It's because Jared fucked his pick up.
No.
I mean, I did have both of these people ahead of Craig Kimbrell, but I could see taking Kimbrell based on a couple of factors. I'm going to go ahead and I'm hoping the other guy slides is what I'm going to have happen here. I'm going to go ahead and lock in just a rock solid multi-time MVP multi-time All-Star. I'm sorry, 4-time All-Star. He's got a World Series MVP.
Wow.
I'm going George Springer.
Wow.
Great pick.
It's a good pick.
I would have taken Semien if he was still here, but Springer's my guy. I think it's great value here.
It's a great pick. All right, my pick.
Yeah. You got a decision to make here, Jared.
I think I know where I'm leaning. I feel like people are going to hate this pick too.
There is a right pick here, if I'm being honest.
Yep. And you're
Only
not going
one.
to say his name, and I'm going to say it.
Only one pick is correct.
Mm.
Only one.
I'm between 2 guys right now.
You should pick the one that's right.
And the time limit is up.
You don't get to fucking decide that,
Yep.
bitch.
Let's go. The fuck
My
you
second
waiting
round
on?
pick. My second round pick is World Series champion, 11th rounder, 337th overall by the Los Angeles Dodgers, Nathan Eovaldi.
Wow. That was not the right pick. You didn't make the
No.
right one.
No, that's
No,
the right
it
pick.
wasn't. So you've got 2 pitchers on your team.
Well, it's a draft.
Wow.
It's not this is not fantasy. This is a Major League Baseball draft.
Where's he? Oh, he's way down here on my board. There he is.
Dude, I hope my guy gets back to me. That would be so hot.
Man,
That'd be so hot. Dallas, if there was one right answer, it shouldn't be too hard for you, I would imagine. Right?
You looking at the bump, Jay?
No, I'm looking at
so you're looking at the
to
hot
me.
corner?
There's a clear answer here.
Well, so going this route, it runs the risk of getting absolutely skewered because of how things have gone here recently.
Oh, on social for any sort of vote situation, you're saying?
Yes.
I'm a man of integrity, and if he is still there, I will take the slings and arrows, and I will select this man.
Well, you can't, because I'll take Anthony Rendon.
Wow.
I mean, listen, if we could just,
You have
I think
to.
this to me is the one of the more interesting points and selections of the draft, obviously because he's been such garbage or unavailable for for so long now. But like, if we're actually redrafting this draft, everybody else that's available, I would describe as people who accumulated some level of value over long periods of time. Anthony Rendon was an
short burst.
He was an actual MVP candidate for an extended period of time. Like
he got a mega deal in free agency.
I mean, he had, I mean, five win seasons as a player. Like that's, I think you could conceivably argue, if you wanted to, as high as number 3 for Rendon. Honestly,
I was going to say, I've got him 4th on this list.
Yeah, I would take Semien ahead of him, and I was hemming and hawing between Springer and Rendon. But I think if you wanted to, if you were going to look at true peak value as being the deciding factor, I think after Posey and Cole, you could conceivably put Rendon 3.
Yep. Go ahead, Jared. You got a middle reliever you want to fire off?
This is my pick?
No, it's back to Young Joseph.
Back to Young Joseph.
3rd round for Joe.
We got Posey.
Third round pick, Joe.
Yeah, and we'll take Pat White.
Who?
Pat White from West Virginia.
Quarterback from West Virginia.
Quarterback?
Look it up.
Look it up, dude.
That's a good pick.
He's an athlete.
Well, I'm not. No, I didn't pick him yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
He's just asking if he was off the board.
Stashing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Sonny Gray.
Fuck.
That a baby, Joe.
That was my fucking next
That a
pick.
baby, Joe.
Son of a bitch.
Great
Son of
pick,
a
Joe.
Bitch. All right. We'll call you back for the last round.
See, it was going to be
another one?
Yeah, there's 4 rounds,
more.
brother.
One more, Joe.
Shit, I didn't even prep for 4.
Yeah, 4 rounds.
All right. Well, I'll see you in the 4th.
All right, bye. Is this me?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's Jay Hay.
Oh, Jay Hay, that's right.
Sonny Gray was a good pick.
Great pick.
It was great. It was the best pick. Next best pick you could have made.
Yeah.
There's also a right answer here, Jay.
That's interesting. Ooh, that's interesting. There's a right pick, you say?
I do.
I think I know who I'm going to go with.
I mean, I think I know, but I'm doing a second run through here to make sure that I didn't overlook somebody based on Dallas's comment. Yeah, I think this has got a little bit of the peak versus longevity question that I've been debating and is obviously very important for this sort of thing. I think I'm going to go ahead and need to lock in. I know we're not really building teams, but I'm going to go ahead and need to lock in a pitcher. And I'm going to go ahead and take the big boy on the bump, the righty. I'm taking Lance Lynn.
Wow.
Lance Lynn.
I think Lance Lynn statistically holds up really well here. He's got 2,000 innings pitched of a 3.74 ERA. To me, unless I'm missing somebody, which is definitely possible, I think he's pretty clearly the best remaining starting pitcher available. I think there are a couple of position players you could argue for here, but I think Lance Lynn's body of work actually holds up very well by traditional or advanced stats. 30.9 wins above replacement. I think that's also the highest remaining mark. So I'm happy to lock in Lance Lynn.
Wow.
Lance Lynn.
It's a good pick.
So you've got Kimbrel and Evaldi. Who's up next, buddy?
Yeah, next up. This guy in his career, I feel like I'm revisiting the guy where I was like, people are gonna hate this pick. It's between two players here, but I think I'm gonna go with the guy that I think people are gonna hate the pick.
I think it is also between two players here. I'm curious to see whether they're the same two. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think I'm gonna take Charlie Blackmon.
God damn it, you motherfucker ass.
He's one of the two for me, for sure.
Yeah,
Fuck!
I want to take Charlie Blackmon. I think people will look at his career and say Coors Field Merchant, and I don't know that they're going to be wrong about that, but the numbers are what the numbers are in the end, and he's a guy that got paid, had some big numbers, very, very, very solid big league career. My pick is Charlie Blackmon.
I mean, for sure, Coors Field Merchant, but also the right pick. Like both of those things can be true. I mean, he still hit, he still posted a career 111 OPS plus in, damn near 7,000 career plate appearances. That's a good career. And got MVP votes in 2 seasons and was a 4-time All-Star. I think it's a great pick.
It is a great pick, as are most of my picks.
Well,
I would.
I didn't love the Kimbrel pick, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. And I always give you 100% honesty.
Got to be honest.
Dallas, you've got quite the infield. Who you got?
I've got an
Semyon
incredible
Rendon.
infield.
What are we taking?
I've got Semyon, Rendon, and now I've got an option here. I can get to the mound, or I can shore up the right side of my defense as well. And
You could definitely add some ground balls to your offensive repertoire. If you're short on those.
Fish ain't biting, pal. Fish ain't biting. Oh, this is so tough. This is so tough. But see, oh god damn.
This is where it gets actually really interesting, because there's some names that are all like, well, how did you exactly see this person? Like, there's one name I think that, in terms of wins above replacement, at least, that I don't even think is going to get mentioned on some of these lists that I think deserves to be drafted. And I'm curious to see whether he is.
It's probably the
Really?
person that I was deciding with.
Well, because I know that neither one of these guys gets to me on my last pick here.
Okay.
And so really it's about, am I okay with, because I mean, I'm not afraid to go pitcherless here.
No, I mean, you shouldn't be afraid.
Right. It's not, we're not building a
It's
team.
best value. It's best
We're
value.
building an org.
I got to go with the Ohana.
Who is
Colton
that?
Wong.
Oh, okay.
Solid.
Colton Wong.
All right.
Colton Wong.
Okay.
It's not the worst pick made in the draft, but
No,
It's
not the
it's
worst.
the next best available. So,
I'm not sure I would go that far, but I won't call it a bad pick.
well, you don't have to look
Yeah.
at the numbers if you're not interested in those. You can just take my word.
I mean, 22 wins above replacement probably actually stacks up. No lie. Colton Wong, solid pick. All right, what do we got?
I absolutely
Joe's
fucking
back.
dominated this.
Well, it's
Not
one
really
of your
sure what
better.
to say.
It's
Just
one of your
pure
better.
dominance.
We'll see what your fourth pick is.
I mean, I can go no.
I might take a developmental project with my fourth.
Mm.
Just kind of get a guy who was highly touted who flopped and just get
Fourth
a second
pick,
chance
Joe.
with him.
What about Craig Kimbrel?
That's
That was
a
He
Jared's
was
first
actually taken
pick.
first
Yikes.
overall by Jared. Yeah. Tough to see Kimbrel slide all the way down.
I mean, he's a
man.
Hall of Fame reliever.
Joe thought he was going to get Kimbrel at 12, but little did he know.
He's a Hall of Fame reliever. A Hall of Famer.
If I can't go Kimmy, I mean, George Springer's my next pick.
No, take
Yeah,
it.
he's gone too.
This man has no idea of what a board
Yeah.
looks like. No.
This is a fucking NFL fantasy draft right now.
Damn, that leaves me with a couple options, huh?
Mhm.
What about Charlie Blackmon?
Took him.
He's gone.
He's also
Joe,
on my
sorry.
team. Joe just loves my team, pretty much.
Anthony Rendon is also gone, Joe. He's gone too.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you were thinking
I thought
about
he'd be
Colton
a
Wong,
sleeper.
Colton Wong's gone too.
He took Colton Wong before Haas.
Haas is available.
If you would like him.
Oh my!
Wow, I can't believe that I didn't even realize that.
I already have a shortstop, bro. I'm gonna go Haas.
Wow, that's probably the best value pick remaining.
That's why. Did we not do a snake? Did we not do a snake?
Did not
no
do the snake. It would have been over for you motherfuckers if that was the case.
Yeah.
Wraps it up with Hosmer.
Wow, that's a good pick, Joe. That's a good fourth round value.
It's definitely one of the
Dude,
picks.
I'm sitting on the calf machine right now.
Oh, attaboy.
Get them raises in.
Squeeze them. High and tight, baby.
Something squeezing hard.
All right, we'll see you on Monday.
Yes, sir.
All right, love you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Love you.
That's Joe.
Tough pick.
all right.
Jay.
Tough,
Jay,
real
hey.
tough.
Eric Hosmer.
That was
in the
tough. I mean,
fourth round.
that's the downside of drafting on the road is sometimes you make a mistake and take a Hosmer in the fourth round.
Sometimes when you're live, you take a fourth round pick with your first pick.
No,
That's neither here nor there.
that's Hall
true.
of Famer. He's literally a Hall of Famer. Do you guys have Hall of Famers? No.
Not yet. He isn't. Not if I have anything to say about it.
Mm.
I think I'm going to take the guy that I argued needs to be taken, but might
gonna
not be appreciated as such.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't excite me, but a 4 or 5 win player at his peak probably needs to come off the board here. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the infield, and I'm going to take Jason Kipnis.
Fucking asshole.
Wow.
That was my pick.
Go get him, Jay Hay.
Yeah, 21 wins above replacement. Not that that's the only deciding factor, but that's certainly in line with Wong and Hosmer and stuff like that. So I'm pretty pleased to get Kipnis. So Posey, Cole, Springer, Lynn, and Kipnis.
Yeah, that's a good
What's your backup plan, buddy?
My backup plan. I had a name in mind that I'm no longer going to select.
Why not? Oh my God. You have shit the bed. You
I haven't
have shit the bed.
I have a Hall of Famer. You don't.
Oh my God. There are
I
people
literally
with
have a
no
Hall of
control over their anus who have not
I have
shit the bed this
I
year.
have a guy who's going to the Hall of Fame on my team. Garrett Cole's going to the Hall of Fame. So I have
Yes.
No, they're gonna look back on it and be like, this man cheated. So yeah, he's probably not gonna make the cut at the end of the day.
Who's your pick? You're gonna take no
table talk, because he's getting ready to just fucking hand me the last player that I need to feel so good about this, because I have an alternative and that's gonna hit just as well, or not just as well, but he's about to just fucking gift wrap me my guy. I can't believe this. Thank you.
What if you really believe in your coaching and believe that you can get to somebody who maybe didn't click at the big league level, maybe just a reclamation project here in the what about a Justin Smoke? Or maybe a Tim Beckham.
If we're going, do we want to add a 5th round supplemental reclamation pick to this?
A Pedro Alvarez? Could I interest you?
I mean, there's another Beckham on the board that I might be thinking about.
A Gordon?
A
Gordon Beckham?
Gordo? Come on, Jared. We've picked
There's
your
a
entire
guy-
roster.
Gordon Beckham was supposed to be the most ready-made motherfucker on the planet, and they stuck him right in that infield, and he sucked.
There's a guy that I feel like is the right pick, but I'm still not gonna take him.
Well, you can't because you shit the bed early with that pick.
No, you got to do the right thing and take Wade Miley.
I'm not taking Wade Miley.
Do the right thing and take Jake Odorizzi.
I am,
How is
however,
D. Sclafani not your guy right now?
I am,
D.
however,
Strange Gordon.
going to take CJ Crone.
The best hitter in the AL West.
How did the best hitter in the AL West make it to the 4th round?
Wow, Jared.
It was either CJ Crone or
should have
Aaron
been
Hicks.
Kyle Hendricks, which is who I'm taking to round out
Oh,
winning draft team.
Wow.
Unbelievable, Jared. Unbelievable. You handed me this draft. Each and every one of you just gift wrapped this fucking thing.
Kyle Hendricks
problem.
is a good pick.
It's
a
the
good
best pick in the 4th round. Not even a question about it. The most valuable pick of this draft outside of Marcus Simeon with my first overall pick. Thank you for coming. I appreciate each and every one of your participation. Jared, next time open your eyes and study the draft when we do this.
No, I literally have 30 home run, 100 RBI pop with my 4th pick. You have Kyle Hendricks.
The professor.
Yeah. I'm going 30 and 100 with my last pick. So I feel pretty good about my draft.
I feel great about it. Yeah, there's no way.
You're not oozing confidence if I'm.
Hey, when Joe on the road with his very last pick names your first overall pick, there was an echo within you that we could all.
He
hear
named
through
my
the
whole
microphone.
team. He literally said, "Oh, I want Jared's team."
At the end of his draft, the problem was you had already picked every one of those guys,
and you could see how that threw him off with his.
It was a top heavy draft.
Hosmer.
It was a top heavy draft. So the first 2 picks were just head and shoulders above the rest of the talent available.
Oh, that's simply not true.
So
No,
Joey's for Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford, Sonny Gray, Eric Hosmer. Mine, Garrett Cole, George Springer, Lance Lynn, Jason Kipnis, Jared, Craig Kimbrell, Nathan Eovaldi, Charlie Blackmon, and the Crone Zone. And Dallas is Marcus Semien, Anthony Rendon, Colton Wong, and Kyle Hendricks. Few
That team
names still
sucks.
left on the board. Aaron Hicks, Tanner Roark, Jake Odorizzi, Brett Laurie, Wade Miley, Justin Smoke, Gordon Beckham, Tim Beckham, Kyle Skipworth. I'm just kidding. I'm just naming washouts now.
Yeah.
But that was fun. When are we going to do that again? Next week?
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
Fuck
that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's see. This will be, what do we say? 1990? Yeah. 1990 to 2023?
Mm-hmm. Well,
All right. Next week, we will be redrafting the 2011 MLB draft. And
oh, wow. Welcome, Garrett Cole again.
are we going to allow that?
Anthony Rendon. No, this has got some names. Cole. Trevor Bauer. Rendon again. Lindor. Javi Baez. George Springer again. Jose Fernandez. Nimmo. Sonny Gray and the Crone Zone make another appearance. Obviously, you guys are gathering that a lot of people who didn't sign in 2008 reappear in 2011. But yeah. Do we want to do that one?
That's what we were told.
Let's
Dallas,
do it.
pick up your FaceTime. Draft order. Draft order validation by Dallas Braden. All right, you ready?
You're ready.
Generating draft order. Dallas.
Yeah.
Jay Hay.
Fuck yeah.
I have the 3rd pick again, and Joe 4th.
Joe in the. All right.
Yep. That's the
Love
order.
it.
That's awesome.
Dallas
That
with
means
the
I've-
1st pick, Jay Hay with the 2nd pick again.
Is Dallas going to take Garrett Cole or is he going to take Francisco Lindor?
Ooh. Stay tuned next week for the 2011 redraft.
Feeling good
Or-
about it already.
Or Bubba Starling?
Already.
Okay.
Already shaping up to go 2-0 in these drafts. Love that.
Yeah, no. Jay Hay, the 2015 MVP Hindsight.
Let's do it.
Should I call Josh right now?
Depends on how quickly you think you can get a hold of him in the moment. 2015 NL and AL MVPs, as we teased last time, Bryce Harper and Josh Donaldson. Let's start off in the NL, which was Bryce Harper, a legitimately historic season, not just your run-of-the-mill MVP. He led the NL in home runs and runs scored. He led Major League Baseball in BWAR, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, and OPS plus. As I said, his 9.7 BWAR was first in baseball, and he had tied for the lead in FWAR at 9.6. So there was clear agreement on the quality of his performance. If you like OPS, a little context on just how historically significant Bryce Harper's 2015 season actually was. Remember, he was 22. He was in his age 22 season in 2015. His 198 OPS plus is the highest by a player age 22 or younger in a non-shortened season in Major League Baseball history, and that includes all Negro leagues in this case as well. The only instance of a higher OPS plus by any player that young was Juan Soto's 2020, which happened in only 47 games. So you can take that for what it's worth. The only instances of an on-base percentage higher than Bryce Harper's 460 that season by an AL or NL player that young in a non-shortened season was Ted Williams in 1941 and Jimmy Fox in 1929. By regular OPS, which was 1.109 this season, the 2015 season represents Bryce Harper's career best mark by about 65 points over his 2021 season. So obviously he's had additional great seasons, but this is still and probably forever will be the absolute class of Bryce Harper's career, as it would be for almost any other player. By BWAR, it's the fifth best mark by a player aged 22 or younger in MLB history. The only instances of a better performance are Ty Cobb in 1909, Rogers Hornsby in 1917, Ted Williams in that aforementioned 41 season, and Mike Trout in 2012. In terms of some softer factors that influenced his MVP, not that he needed any, no other regular offensive player on the Nationals that season posted an OPS of even 800. So he was literally a man unto himself offensively that season. They had great starting pitching, as this era of Nationals teams did, but he did not have much support offensively. A little bit more. He was the youngest player ever to win the MVP unanimously, and was the only player in the NL to win unanimously from 2010 to 22. So from Pujols in 09 to Acuna Jr. in 23, the only guy in between there to win unanimously was Bryce Harper. And he's the third, he was in 2015, the third youngest position player ever to win the MVP, behind only Johnny Bench and Stan Musial. So that is a quick rundown of why the 2015 MVP will be staying with Bryce Harper. And that was not even a debate that I needed to have. The best statistical argument, I guess, from a wins above replacement standpoint, just a shorthand, was Zach Greinke. And I'm not, with all due respect to Greinke's excellent season, I'm always going to take the position player if it's close with these stats. And Harper's season stands up historically. I think it's aged exceptionally well in the 9 seasons since. I wouldn't change a thing. Any reactions or memories from Bryce Harper's 2015 season?
I just remember
you're a biased fuck.
That wasn't that the year that like Joe Madden walked him with the bases loaded or something like that. No,
I'm trying to remember.
I know. I'm trying. Was that in Tampa?
Let's see.
That was 2016. So it was the season after. So it was in response to this season, basically.
Yeah.
There you
go. Over on the AL side, a little bit more complicated of a picture, let's just say. Cutting to the chase, Josh Donaldson was the winner, and the main guy that we will be discussing and whether he deserved it is Mike Trout. So here's a little background on Donaldson's season. He led the AL in RBI with 123, and he led Major League Baseball in runs scored with 122. So he had a classic, legitimately excellent, but classic counting stats driven MVP campaign. He also had the full weight of the narrative behind him. This was Donaldson's first season in Toronto following the trade from Oakland. The Blue Jays improved from 83 wins and third in the AL East to 93 wins and first in the AL East. Not going to assume that everybody remembers what was happening at that time for the Blue Jays in 2015. That was their first time winning the division or even making the postseason since 1993, which means they had gone
Joe Bats, Encarnacion.
Yeah, they had gone 21 straight seasons without making the postseason at that time. So this was epic that they broke through. Donaldson was the best player on this team, and he was credited as such. Donaldson finished 4th and 8th in the MVP vote with the A's in the previous 2 seasons. So there was a foundation laid. He was not out of nowhere. There was a foundation laid for Josh Donaldson being an excellent player. He increased his homers by 12 and his RBI by 25 from 14 to 15. So you had a guy who was already being recognized as one of the best players in the AL, and he took his counting stats to the next level on a team that was way more relevant than the team that he had respectfully left. And while his advanced numbers didn't really change much, he was basically a 7-win player each year over this 3-year stretch. This was, in many ways, his crowning achievement as a baseball player. Conversely, we have Mike Trout's side of this, which is that he was, I don't know that anybody is really going to make an argument that Josh Donaldson was better statistically than Mike Trout was this season. I think everybody is on the same page, probably then, definitely now, that Mike Trout's season was better. He had more home runs. He had his rate stats were universally better. Trout led the AL in slugging percentage, OPS, and OPS plus. For context, Trout's OPS plus was 176 in this season, which was admittedly not a legendary Mike Trout season, but was Josh Donaldson's was 154. So there was a sizable gap as those sorts of stats saw it this season. What Mike Trout didn't have behind him, I said Trout led in homers. They tied in homers this season. What Mike Trout did not have behind him was the narrative or the team success. The Angels missed the postseason for what at that time was the 5th time in 6 seasons. They have, side note, they have not made it since. So that has continued on. Their win total decreased from 98 wins in 2014 and a postseason berth to 85 wins and missing out. So if you're thinking of voters at the time, you have Donaldson on one side who took his team 13 more wins, and you have 10 more wins, and you have Trout whose team dropped by 13 wins. Obviously, we all know how baseball works. It's not an individual sport, or it's not an individual sport in that sense, but that's some context for you. Also, this was right in the heart of Mike Trout's peak era. In 2012, he'd finished 2nd in the MVP. In 2013, he'd finished 2nd in the MVP. In 2014, he'd finished 1st in the MVP. So he was the reigning MVP winner at the time of this vote. In 2015, this season, he would finish 2nd. And then next season, in 2016, he would then get back to winning the MVP and win in 2016. So in theory, what we could be talking about, there is a legitimate world where not only does Mike Trout win 3 straight MVPs if he wins this year, there's a world where you could conceivably argue that Mike Trout deserved 5 straight MVPs because he could have won MVP in each of the years that he finished 2nd in 12 and 13. We're not going to relitigate those right now. And he easily could have won this season. Yes, he easily could have won this season, and he did not. One more point on Mike Trout. This is the year he won MVP in 14 was easily, at least by wins above replacement, his worst season during what I'll call his peak stretch. This year was nearly 2 wins of this year being 2015 was 2 wins better in wins above replacement than his 2014 MVP caliber season was. So the question is an age-old one. Would you rather have the guy who was better statistically on the less successful team, or would you rather have the more successful player or the less successful individual player on the better team? What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Defining the V. That's all it is. Defining your V.
So I care about what these awards say about the player historically and where they're remembered and what that does for legacy and stuff like that. And it is largely on the back of that that I am going to.
Wow.
Mr. Donaldson.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Mr. Donaldson. Can I please have that MVP award back? I'm going to take I'm going to take the 2015 AL MVP award from Josh Donaldson, and I'm going to give it to Mike Trout. I think he was the better player this season. I don't think that the Blue Jays' success was obviously it was not entirely driven by Josh Donaldson. There were lots of other good players and reasons for that. And this is a little bit of an opportunity to rectify the wrongs that were done to Mike Trout in other years of MVP voting. So I am awarding Mike Trout retroactively the 2015 AL MVP.
Damn.
With all due respect to Josh Donaldson.
I think it's kind of it's on site with you.
All right. I've got Josh Donaldson here with us. JD, it looks like you're on the golf course. You probably just pumped 370 down the middle, you fucking freak. What we're talking about right now, very quickly, your 2015 MVP season. We've got a nerd, Justin Havens. It's, if you look at the screen, it's that guy, right? That guy right there. That guy right there, JD. He's the one that has taken your MVP award away and handed it to Mike Trout.
I've made a different decision if I knew we were going to.
How do we feel about that?
Well, I don't feel any type of way about it because the last I checked, it's sitting in my house.
Yeah, yes, it is. It is sitting in your house. JA has knocked on your door and politely asked for it back.
He wasn't home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did. Well, I'll kindly just have him to say, I don't know where we're at right now, but F off.
Yeah. Oh no,
you can let it rip.
Street legal, pal. Totally street legal. So you heard that?
Okay, we're street legal.
Street legal. So he's telling you.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I think he's not factoring in, and that is the fact that we went to the playoffs and we broke a 22 or 23 year playoff drought for the Toronto Blue Jays. So numbers aside, you got to look at what actually is valuable. I think that we actually brought more quiche to the table for the Toronto Blue Jays by making the postseason that year. Matter of fact, I think every game was sold out by 50,000 plus. So you tell me what was actually more valuable.
Well, JD, I appreciate you laying that out for the folks at home. I know you've got important shit to go do. Go tee off. Go get you a bird. Continue to rake, my friend. Your MVP is staying firmly planted in your trophy case.
That's not what we
I
did.
appreciate that, and thank you. And tell the nerd I said if he wants it, come to the house. I'll send him the address.
All right, brother. Take it easy, JD. Love you, dog.
Dude,
that
is just about the coolest thing ever.
Well, you heard it here first. JD says, "I will send location. Come get your MVP." The MVP, the P in MVP stands for fucking poutine, pal, because that was a poutine powered MVP.
If you want it, come take it, he says.
I mean, that's totally fair.
Any thoughts on knocking on his door now?
Well, I'm not gonna ask where he lives on the podcast. But depending on where he lives and where that lines up with future travel opportunities for the Baseball is Dead crew, I think knocking on his door would be a very fun video to do.
If there is anybody that we could go and I could just knock on their door and he would stop whatever he was doing in the moment because we showed up, it would be JD. He'd be like, all right.
I am going to do the knocking with people whose faces are a little bit more familiar to him than mine, though. Not sure I'm totally excited about hustling up to that door kind of unadorned and knocking on it. Yeah.
He'd look through the people and be like, Ellen? Thought she was in London.
It's the nerd. It's the nerd.
Yeah, we should probably do that video at some point. Jay, would you like to know what year and which award you'll be investigating next week?
Yeah, I do. And I'd also like to just humbly request that we do that sort of thing every time. Just call the player and let them defend their honor. Because I could have never conceived that when we came up with this fun little segment that we would in the future be talking to Josh Donaldson about taking his MVP away. So I appreciate that he was, jokes aside, I appreciate that he was game for a little fun. But yes, I want to know about the next one.
The next one is the 1953
Let me make sure we haven't done that one.
Cy Young. We obviously have not done the Cy Young.
No, the 1953 Cy Young. Let's pull that up, folks.
When did they start doing the Cy Young?
In 50, I believe it's 53. This is the first year of it.
Really?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I think so. I don't want to say guarantee.
1956.
56.
So we can't do that one. Yeah, we have to do a new year, but it is a Cy Young. What year? 1990.
Because Don Newcomb won the first Cy Young.
It's probably of greater interest to people anyway. 1990 Cy Young. Okay, we're gonna get in the weeds a little bit here, folks. We've got an Oakland A's representative,
right,
Bob Welch. This is going to be a fucking bloodbath. Oh my dear God.
Why you hate him?
Oh my God. I don't think we've ever seen a statistical gap.
Stop.
I can't. I don't know enough about the Welch family to continue more. Yeah.
Thank you. And with all because Bob Welch is a beautiful human, was a beautiful human being. And I think I'm going to have to respectfully decline. I don't know that I can be present for it.
Well, okay. But this is going to be fun because there's a lot of wild shit going on statistically.
A ton of
not just the wins above replacement stuff that I was laughing at, but like some of the stuff Bob Welch did, some of the other numbers that some other candidates threw up that year are going to be really, really fun. There's another Oakland A that was a candidate that'll be fun to get. Actually,
there's three.
Two other Oakland A's got votes at least. All right, and then the NL. The NL, if nothing else, will function as a nice run through on a couple of names that we don't get to spend a lot of time talking about. Doug Drabek was the winner. Obviously the father of Kyle Drabek, for you younger fans out there. But yeah, we'll talk about Doug Drabek and Bob Welch.
Wow.
Welchy.
We love Bob Welch.
Bob, great story. Oh, you know what? Just because the name Bob Welch has come up and Jake,
just get his phone
edit all this out
time too.
If I'm fucking this up. But I put together a video series during the season of interviews from your favorite team's grounds crew and great stories, insight, anecdotes from these guys about experiences with players, odd requests, funny stories, stuff like that. And Bob Welch is the centerpiece of one of these incredible stories shared by Clay Wood, the longtime groundskeeper for the Oakland Athletics at the Coliseum. So be sure to check that out. That's going to drop on our YouTube channel here very soon. The name of the series is Where the Ho's At. And that is, again, with all of the groundskeepers across Major League Baseball. But the Bob Welch story from Clay Wood is incredible. What do you got?
Question. So in the area of baseball groundskeepers, a hose, you could they have a water hose and they also have a hose,
correct,
a hoe to rake. Like, which one are you referring to?
It's really all open to interpretation, Jared.
Wow. And
that's what the groundskeepers do a fantastic job of, is answering a question just like that. Cause I ask them, how do you kill time? Are you into the tarp slides? You got a funny story about, like I said, a crazy request from a player, dumb stuff like that. And they oblige. But I also ask them, look, as the head groundskeeper, you can kill time however you'd like. You can do any job you'd want. How do you kill time? What's your favorite tool in the shed to use? And how do you see yourself just making peace with the game? And some really, really cool answers, really funny answers at times, and some good in-depth insight into how these folks got into the game, how they got into taking care of big league fields, and ultimately how they got hooked on grass.
Look at that. Wow. See what you did there. All right. Is it that time?
baby. Welcome back to Baseball is Dead Family Feud. I'm your man, Justin Havens. We've got a little bit, it's not fully, but it's a little bit of a Thanksgiving tinge to it today. Yes. Some of them have some Thanksgiving themes to them. Others stick mostly to the diamond, but either way, it should be a fun time. I think you guys have a pathway to victory here. I know you do. It's within you. You're great players. Who's going first? Who's going second?
I'm first this week.
Yeah, Jared's first.
Oh, that's right. I have the list right here. Yep. Okay. Dallas, take those, pop those bad boys off. We'll see you in a bit. Jared, how you feeling?
I'm sick today, so I don't know if that's going to affect my brain, but I'm going to do my best.
You're sick?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry you don't feel good.
Hey, it happens. That's what happens. You'll find this out when your kids start going to school and they bring back all the germs home. And,
oh, bro.
Yeah. It's hard to avoid germy kids.
Before we get started on Family Feud, I do want to point everybody's attention to Feast Week that's going on at Underdog, the Underdog app. The Refer a Friend offering is now live, and we have increased our referral bonus from $25 to $50 at Underdog. That's obviously double. That's good throughout Thanksgiving weekend, ending Sunday night. Also, Underdog has a 50% deposit match. That's live as well. So if you're going to go ahead and you were thinking about now's the time to sign up with the Underdog app, promo code Jared, Feast Week is a really good time to do it.
One of the best of the year.
50% deposit match, refer a friend bonus. Check it all out. Anyway, Family Feud. Let's get it started. Are you ready, Jared?
Ready as I'll ever be.
As always, it's 5 questions. Out of 100 BID fans, here are the results. Question 1. What is the best Thanksgiving side dish? In other words, not turkey, ham, etc.
Stuffing.
Taking the entirety of the wild card era into consideration, 95 to 2024, which single fan base has the most to be thankful for?
The Yankees.
In increments of $100 million. So 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, through $900 million. What will the Red Sox total spending in free agency be this offseason?
$300 million.
Which Section 10 or Baseball is Dead participant would you most want to invite to your Thanksgiving dinner table?
J.A.
Of the 12 teams that made the postseason in 2024, which team do you think is the most likely to miss the postseason in 2025?
Ooh. Mets.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Got that total. That was easy to add up. Dallas, pop them back on, baby.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
Hey, you good?
Yeah.
Fuck, hold on.
Oh, God.
Hold on.
This is exactly the sort of thing that's going to send him down a spiral right before he steps up to the plate. This is awesome.
A Dallas technical difficulty is
He needs
it's a day ruiner. Like depending on what time it happens. Yeah.
He needs just the right amount.
There we go.
Can you hear us? Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. Good. You're nice and focused. This is perfect.
Fucking
your,
A, man.
Your blanket. Yeah, your blanket's slipping. Your hat's not on quite
Well, the
right.
fucking headphone thing. Fucking how I take these fucking things off and then they fucking disconnect.
Your head's a little itchy now.
I'm
you
getting
feel
worried.
it. Yeah,
I'm getting worried.
Little sweat underneath.
Little
sweat like right in the center of your chest. I get that too when I get nervous. All right. Dallas.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So the good news is that Jared got some points. The bad news is that you need to get more points than he got. Okay. So he got 80.
Oh.
We're playing.
That's like my worst round ever.
Yeah, it's not your best. It's like, I think like 40 points below your typical average, if I remember the data correctly.
Wow.
Dallas needs a nice round 120 to slip in to the 200 spot. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Remember, it's 5 questions. We do not have the buzzer, right? I'm going to buzz.
I have it.
Oh, Jared's got it. Okay, so he knows his answers. So I will lay out for that. So out of 100 Baseball is Dead fans, Dallas, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1. What is the best Thanksgiving side dish? In other words, not turkey or ham, etc.
Oh, stuffing? Fuck! Cranberries.
Oh my God.
I love
Taking the entirety of the wild card era into consideration, 1995 to 2024, which single fan base has the most to be thankful for?
Dodgers.
In increments of 100 million, so 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, through 900 million, what will the Red Sox total spending in free agency be this offseason?
275. 300,
No.
300 million. 350.
Increments of 100 million.
Oh, 400. Fuck no, 400.
Which Section 10 or Baseball is Dead participant would you most want to invite to your Thanksgiving
Give
dinner
me Milky.
table?
I want Milky right next to me.
That's not the number you're going to need. Of the 12 teams that made the postseason in 2024, which team do you think is most likely to miss the postseason in 25?
The Tigers.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
Man. 375 increments of 100.
Well, would you fucking 300 is what you said?
All right,
Yeah.
ready? Are we
It's an
ready?
increment
Fuck.
of
And
100.
God damn it.
Question number 1. What is the best Thanksgiving side
Hey.
dish? Jared had said stuffing, as we found out. That was the second most popular answer for 29 points.
What are you going to do? Mashed potatoes?
Tell me that's
Dallas, right off the bat, just goes full panic mode, which we love. We love that on Family Feud. Cranberries. That's going to get you multiple points, but only barely. That's 2. So we're up to 82 total points. 4 questions. 4 questions remaining.
It's all right. Slow start. No problem.
The number 1 answer was mashed potatoes, 31. Mac and cheese would have gotten you 16. Every other question, obviously 29 for stuffing. Every other question was in single, or answer was single digits. Taking the entire, this is just a total fail by you guys. Taking the entirety of the wild card era into consideration, 95 to 24, which single fan base has the most to be thankful for? Jared said the Yankees. See, this is why I love this question. Jared said the Yankees. That was the 3rd most common answer with 13. Dallas said the Dodgers. That was the 2nd most common answer with 16. The one y'all left on the board was the Red Sox. That was 45 points. I think you could make a very easy argument for any of those top 3. And I think you could also argue for the Giants, who had finished in 4th with 5. Depends on when you wanted the success to come, I guess. Anyway, Dallas got 16 on there for the 2nd most common answer. So we're up to 98 points with 3 questions left. So Dallas and Jared need 102 points in 3 questions.
There's a path.
There is a path. Answering this next question with 375 was not the path.
No.
In increments of 100 million, what will the Red Sox total spending in free agency be? Jared came through with a $300 million answer. That is the 4th most likely or 4th most common answer, 10 points. Dallas, after quite a lot of stuff, came through with 400 million. That is the 3rd most common answer with
What?
19.
Your fucking fan base is delusional.
So that brings you to 117 total points. The 2 very pessimistic, this group. The 2 most common answers were 200 million, that was 25, and 100 million, which was 20.
I didn't want to do that.
So we are at 117 with 2 questions left. You need a scant 83 points in 2 questions. Here we go. Which Section 10 or Baseball is Dead participant would you most want to invite to your Thanksgiving dinner table? Shout out to Allie for inspiration on this question. Jared, in my opinion, answered correctly by saying Jay Hay. That was the 2nd most common answer. Thank you, Discord. 18 was what that got. Jared, Dallas for some reason that he's going to have to explain, went Tyler.
Yeah, that's the worst answer.
Definitely the guest most likely to end up shirtless at your table, I would imagine.
How do you not want
house
that?
down?
Yes, and bringing in McDonald's and Papa Gino's. 12 for Tyler, a respectable showing. That was fourth.
Was Coley number one or Jake?
No, Coley got very little respect. Coley, obviously, this is a BID audience primarily. Coley finished sixth with 5 points. I'll just read everybody's. Dallas was the winner. The most common answer with 38. So Dallas could have answered himself. Chose not to. Then me with 18, Joey 14, Tyler 12, Jake 8, Coley 5, Jared 3. Nobody.
I don't want to come to your fucking Thanksgiving anyway.
Poor Steve. 1 for Steve. One person in Discord voted for
People
Steve.
thought Steve was the actual turkey.
So with the Tyler vote, that's up to 129. So we only need 71. Can we do it? Of the 12 teams that made the postseason in 2024, which team do you think is the most likely to miss the postseason in 25? Jared said the Mets. That was tied for the third most common answer with 10. Dallas delivered the Tigers. That was the number one answer. Unfortunately, it was less than half of what you needed. It was 35. So you guys end up at 164.
Say the fucking Red Sox, Jared. What the fuck?
I don't know why. I think it was because the date range. I just started at the beginning instead of thinking about the end.
And I buckled. I buckled on mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes was number 2, but then I started saying to myself, I feel like that's a fallback, easy answer. And then I started to think about the shit that I have on my table, and maybe not everybody has that.
I've never even had stuffing.
Oh, stuffing's the best. I just to give you a little bit of peace of mind, even if you had answered the Red Sox instead of Dodgers or Yankees, you guys still would not have won.
Fuck. But a Red Sox and mashed potatoes gets it done.
Yes, a Red Sox mashed potatoes combo would have put you over the edge. Yep.
That's so disheartening because those are my 2 favorite things.
Also,
the Red Sox and mashed potatoes.
If you had gone Red Sox and Jay Hay and Joey instead of Jay Hay and Tyler, that also would have put you over the edge.
Yeah.
So just stuff to think about as we're marinating over the long weekend. And you guys are
I'm going to choose to
loss.
cope and think that the Discord didn't pick me to come to Thanksgiving because they knew that I wouldn't come. It's not because they didn't want me there. It's because they didn't want to waste an invite. They'd be like, he's not coming.
Well, and the only reason they want me there, Jared, pretty obvious reason. They know I'm bringing weed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we can all
not
get baked.
lie about how important that is for
you just gotta don't be offended. They know what they're looking to do on a Thanksgiving Thursday, and that's get absolutely roasted and smash food.
Yeah. They're like, Jared, not a big social situation guy. So I don't know what value that brings to our dinner table. You're right. You're right. All right. Happy Thanksgiving to all the Baseball's Dead listeners out there, watchers, everyone. What are you thankful for this year, Justin Havens?
I'm thankful for this podcast for sure. I'm thankful for the opportunity that Underdog has given us. I'm thankful for our audience, and as I will reiterate what I said when we gave our props at the end of the season, this is the most I've enjoyed covering baseball in at least a decade, if not longer, maybe my entire professional career. So that is what I'm thankful for in the moment.
Dallas, what are you thankful for this year?
I echo that, man. It's been great. I'm very thankful for my family. It's been a trying past few years, honestly, for us. And my family has continued to grow and be the rock that I need to be able to get through days and weeks and months of a long baseball season. You guys have obviously been a huge part of my life for a long time, and our fans that continue to grow, continue to show us love on levels that I just never really even thought we would reach or would continue to grow into and past. Our fans, our listeners continue to put us on a pedestal that I don't frankly necessarily know that we earn each and every day. I know we try really hard, and they make popping on the fucking computer at 7 a.m., something I look forward to, where I think in any other situation, it'd be like, this is absolutely a get to type of job. And I'm very thankful for that, because a lot of people have jobs that they have to go and do. And this is something that we get to do. And I'm very appreciative and very thankful for the folks that make that happen.
Very well said, Dallas. Jake, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for the TMZ video that's going to come out this weekend of Josh Donaldson beating the shit out of Jay Hay.
If I walk out of there with that trophy, it's all worth it.
Jay, I will go in with you and I will prevent anybody else jumping in. And as soon as shit starts to get hairy, I'll throw a punch and kick and we'll get the fuck out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Harry for him.
Yes. He's my friend. I can't let you do that to him.
No doubt, baby.
I'll protect you, Jay.
From
Jared, what are you thankful for, Jared?
I mean, everything that you guys said. Yeah, I'm thankful for Underdog, for giving us the opportunity, all the listeners, all the fans that show up, support us, buy the merch, listen to us for hours on end. I know people say that like I was in the grocery store the other day and a woman stopped me and said, she's like, I hear your voice more than I hear my husband's sometimes, and I don't voluntarily listen to you guys. You're just always on in the house. Folks like that, thankful for them. Thankful for you guys for making the show what it is. My family, obviously. And I'm thankful for Juan Soto choosing the Boston Red Sox in a few days.
Talking about our fans, I just want to give you guys a little story, fun little interaction I had. So doing some like metabolic blood typing and stuff online, and I'm, working to get a lab technician over to the house and blah, 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 blah. And I had been working with this company for a while, trying to get this shit squared away. So sent in payment to get this stuff taken care of. And then months had gone by with no interaction, no response, like just a complete fucking ghost job by these folks. So I sent an email, a very strongly worded email, if you will. And the individual responded very nicely, very, very nicely. Even offered their personal cell phone number for contact from this point forward, and apologized emphatically for dropping the ball, absolutely made things right from a business perspective. And then the last response, or the last bit of communication from this individual was, hey, no problem. Really appreciate everything. I will plan on following up with you here on Monday. Have a great weekend, sir. P.S. Love the pod. Fuck A-Rod. And this is somebody who I've never been face-to-face with. They would have no reason to know who I am other than looking at the email. But you just never know. And that's why I say I'm super thankful for our fans and for our listeners, because I get interactions like that where I could call and want to rip somebody's fucking head off. And they're like, you know what? I feel your pain, but honestly, love the pod. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Keep doing you. So that's like to all of us, man.
That was like was it last year or the year before when I had to like book a fucking colonoscopy on the phone, and like I'm talking about like shoving cameras up my asshole with this dude. And then at the end of the call, he's like, by the way, rest in peace. like,
what a great thing to say while he's got you bent over the table shoving a camera up.
So I was on the phone. I was like booking it. I was like, yeah.
Somebody needs you to bend over, tuck your knees up to your chest, grab the table, and remember, rest in peace. Oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was tough. I loved it, though. I loved it.
With a smile on your face.
Yeah, I remember because the call was because I had an appointment, and then I went to the office and they were like, that doctor's not even here. Like there's nothing on file here that you're supposed to have this appointment. So I was like, what the fuck? And then I like went home and like I called and I was like rip shit on the phone, and he was like, oh man, like let's take care of you, like that, that should never happen. And we're like, we're really sorry. And then at the end of the call, he was like, hey, by the way,
Come on over. I'll take care of you manually right here in my living room, dude.
Yeah, he's like, dude, let me see that asshole right now.
Show me your 2-hole. Let me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Best fan. All right, we'll be back on Monday with Joseph. Everyone, safe travels. Enjoy Thanksgiving, time with your friends and family and all that. Stay safe tonight on Thanksgiving Eve. I know it's a big drinking night. I'm not. This is like, I don't want to say it's an end of it. Nah, I don't feel good, man. Like yeah, I'll probably end up there.
Yeah, you're going. You're going. Hey, stay out of the kitchen. Stay out of the fights. All right. We know what happened last time. The loon decided to pop off on the holidays. My man Andy fucking mopping up blood and shit. Let's keep it clean out there. You Sauguses. I don't know what you call it.
Saugonians.
Yeah. Whatever.
As of right now, it's a no. I don't feel great, but maybe we might go for dinner.
Yeah, I'll like the pic that you post from the loom.
You never know. Any final thoughts from you, gentlemen?
Nope.
No? Okay. Okay. I know we already got Jake, so. All right, we'll see you guys on Monday.
Wow.